You know what the trouble with us, Vera? We think we're the inmates. We forget that we can walk out of this place whenever we like.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. I've had this headache all day.
Well, it's no wonder this place is probably getting to you. You ought to get out more. You know, I had to force myself to go out last night. You got no idea what an effort it was.
Don't I?
But I had the time of my life. I mean, it's done me a hell of a lot more good than the satisfaction of a job well done.
Well, it's easier for men.
Well, not for me, it's not. I mean, you ought to develop some other interests. This place, it's so depressing. You've got to have a safety valve. Get out of your rut while you can.
Well, there's not much chance of that with the rosters you've drawn up for next week.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Got to make a change to that roster.
I had a go and I can't do it.
You didn't hurt the kid, did you? You know I advised against that.
No, I couldn't even get near her. She was fast asleep, bloody babe in the woods.
Oh, as a hit man, you got a long way to go, Kathleen.
Yeah, well, some of us have got it and some of us haven't.
I hear McNally's got heaps.
What am I going to do?
I told you before, get yourself hurt, make yourself an alibi.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do it right. I'd probably miss or kill myself.
Maybe I should do you a favour and knock you around a bit. But then they'd just land me back in the pound. I think I've had enough of that.
Can't you think of something else?
I'm thinking. Mind you, you've been a bit naughty, you know, playing in the gutter with pushers. But I deserve to get off scot-free.
Yeah, well, I didn't know they were going to ask me to kill somebody.
Yeah, there's a way I can help you. Grab the sheet off the press for me, will you?
Oh, sure.
Gorby, hope Kat's gonna be all right. You could have done a lot of damage to her poor hands.
There was just a panic merchant, Lizzie. I just put her out of action for a while.
Get back to work.
Oh, we was just having a few minutes silence for poor old Kat.
Well, save your sympathy for Smith. She's the one who'll be needing it once she's seen the governor.
You can't charge her over an accident.
Nothing Smith does is ever an accident.
They do happen, you know.
Not with you. Leach was just another victim on your list, wasn't she?
Kath didn't know what she was doing.
That's right. You should have watched where she was putting her hands.
Yeah, she's been a bit vague lately, you know.
Well, we'll let the governor decide that. Come on, Smith.
It's a frame-up. It wasn't an accident, was it?
No. No, Kath was set up by B to put her hands in that press.
Yeah, I seen it too. But why? She and Kath were always real good mates.
Geez, you've got to be a bird brain not to work that one out. Kath crossed B, that's for sure.
How?
Well, how should I know? But she got what's coming to her, and so will that Morris bitch. She's mixed up in it too.
Oh, pull your head
No,
into...
Doreen might have a point.
See, I told you.
Do you know something we don't know?
Well, maybe. But it's going to be a long time before we find out for sure. Because if Vera has her way, B'll be locked up for some time yet.
Yes, Doctor, I see. Would you let me know as soon as Leach is well enough to speak to me? Thank you.
How is she?
Not very well. She's in a great deal of pain, and both her hands are severely blistered.
Poor kid.
Your concern does you credit. Perhaps you'd tell me what happened.
Oh, Kath was giving me a hand with the sheets. She turned around to take a couple off the press that weren't ready. I didn't notice, and I brought the press down on her hands, accidentally.
Rubbish.
Were you present, Miss Bennett?
No, but it doesn't take much imagination to work out what happened. Leach must have crossed Smith in some way, and so she had to be punished.
I suppose you would deny that.
Listen, Mrs. Davidson, I say it was an accident. Miss Bennett thinks it wasn't. But why would I want to hurt Kath?
You don't need a reason. Just another one of your little vendettas.
Prove it.
That's enough, Smith.
Ask Kath, she'll tell you.
After what you've done, do you think she'll speak?
With your record, Smith, I find it hard to believe that it was an accident. However, until we can question Leach, there is no proof to the contrary.
It was an accident.
So you say. But to avoid any more accidents, you will no longer be permitted to work the press, since you seem unable to work it responsibly.
Oh.
You are being let off lightly. Miss Bennett, would you take her back to the laundry and make sure she does not use the press?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
What's that crap?
It's not crap. Listen.
Jeez. You've got nice soft hands. It'd be a shame if anything happened to them.
What are you talking about?
Remember Kathleen? She's in hospital.
Why? What happened?
Got her hands caught in the press accidentally on purpose.
What are you on about?
Bea had to teach her a lesson.
Why?
Well, Kath done something to upset Bea. You should have heard her scream. Her hands came up all blistered from the steam. Must have been real painful.
You're hurting me.
Just a flea bite to what Bea'll do to you. I wouldn't be in your shoes for nothing.
You go back early?
Yes, for once the police got a guard to the hospital quickly so I could get back.
How's Leach?
Oh, not too bad. She's been sedated, but the doctors don't think there'll be any permanent damage to her hands.
Good.
Ah, this week's rosters tell me the worst.
Well, look, will you be right for a double shift today and then another one later in the week?
Maybe I should bring in my bed and take up permanent residence.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. When Officer Powell gets back from sick leave, we'll all be able to take it quite a lot easier.
You seem to be taking it easier already.
How's that?
Vera, myself and Jenny are all on 2 double shift and you haven't even got 1.
So?
Well, yesterday you made a remark. I thought it was a joke about you changing your shift. Surely you're not asking us to work harder in order to accommodate your social life?
As Deputy Governor, it's my duty to compile the rosters. Now, they're done. I don't want to debate them with you now.
Well, all I can say is the Deputy Governor is in a very privileged position.
Bea.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't expect to see you after her little trick with Kath.
No, what could Davo do? Even Vera couldn't prove it wasn't an accident.
Uh-huh. And was it?
No.
So why then?
Did you know Kath was a plant?
What are you talking about?
She was put in here to keep an eye on Tracy. But when things got too hot to handle, she got the message that Tracy had to go.
Oh, come on, Kath's no killer.
No, but she got a little prezi yesterday. A knife.
Was she going to use it?
No, she was scared of her wits, poor kid. She didn't want to kill Tracy, but she knew if she didn't, the big boys would be out after her. So I did her a favour. I put her out of action for a while.
Well, at least the 2 of them are safe now.
Yeah, well, Kath might be. Tracy isn't. She's going to testify against her friends in court, and they don't like that. They'll do anything they can to wipe her out.
You know, this is unbelievable. I mean, all the girl does is do a favor for her friend. She takes a suitcase. Suddenly all hell breaks loose. It's like the mafia or something.
Yeah, well, drugs is the most filthy, dangerous game you can poke your nose into.
So what's going to happen to her?
Well, nothing if I can help it. But they'll probably plant someone else in here, so we'll have to keep a pretty sharp eye on her.
Well, I'm sure we can offer her protection as long as we work together.
Yeah, but we'll have to be careful.
Why? We're not in any danger.
You want to bet? As long as we're in between Tracy and whoever it is that's out to get her, we're in the firing line.
Well, it won't stop me.
Well, it won't stop me either. I'm just saying we're going to have to be careful of ourselves as well as Tracy. This is a very big, very dirty business.
Now, Tracy Morris, as you are all aware, she has been returned here in protective custody.
But surely that's a police matter. Why aren't they looking after her?
Neither the police nor Morris herself were aware of her danger until she went out on bail. She now needs constant surveillance. It is our job to see that she gets adequate protection.
Surely we're doing all we can.
The police have asked for extra security. Any visitor she has must be approved by me.
Well, her father will be visiting her. Does that include him?
All visitors, Mrs. Jackson. If I am not here, they are to be reported to Mr. Fletcher for his approval. Everyone will need to be searched.
Well, that's all very well, Mrs. Davidson, but the staff is under enough pressure as it is without wrapping Morris in cotton wool.
The request came from Inspector Grace.
The simplest solution is to put the girl in isolation and allow her no visitors.
I am not discussing these measures, Miss Bennett. I am telling you what is to happen. In addition to these precautions, I would also like you to keep a close eye on any relationship she may form with the other inmates, especially newcomers. Now, Doreen Burns. It seems she is not coping very well since the loss of her baby. Are there any comments?
Well, I'm not surprised with all that's happened. It's one disaster after another.
The worst thing is she seems to be alienating herself from the other women.
Oh, she's wallowing in self-pity. What she really needs...
Harshness will not solve Burns' problem.
Well, she's due for parole soon, isn't she?
That is correct. But she's not ready for it in her present state. This problem will not be solved overnight. However, I would ask that you give her as much tact and sympathy as you possibly can. I would like to speak to her tomorrow. Would you arrange that, Mrs. Jackson?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
Now, is there anything else? Well, in that case, the meeting is closed. Thank you for your time.
What a waste of time.
Probably.
Well, don't you care?
What about?
The way this place is going to the dogs.
I'm not bursting a blood vessel over it, no.
Oh, that's right. Now that you've got yourself out of the rut, it doesn't matter anymore, does it?
Quite frankly, no. You ought to try it. You could do with getting out a bit, having a good time.
Oh, where do you suggest I go? Where you do?
You make it sound like some sort of a dive.
Well, I heard you say discos.
Yes, that's right. Discos, bars, that sort of a place.
Well, it must be fascinating mixing with teenagers.
Oh, you'd know, would you, Vera? I mean, have you ever been inside one of those places?
Well, not personally, but I can imagine.
Can you? Well, for your information, there are some pretty sophisticated places about. The place I went to. No teenagers, strictly smart casual, over 25s only.
Oh, a singles bar.
Well, we are single, aren't we?
Well, whatever they are, they're only pick-up places.
Oh, are they? In my opinion, they're just places where people go to have a good time, to enjoy themselves. I suppose you'd see something wrong with that, would you?
Look, I don't mean to be critical. If it suits you, good luck.
Well, why don't you try it? See if it suits you.
Well, I couldn't.
Well, suit yourself. Well, I'm going out tonight. Do you want to come along?
Well, but I...
You can always leave if you don't like the place. Why not give yourself a chance?
All right.
Good. Well, I'll pick you up at 8 then, okay?
Tracy?
Oh, it's only you.
Oh. Well, who are you expecting? Count Dracula?
More or less. Judy, my life's such a mess. What I've done to my father and to myself.
Come on now, don't worry.
And you can stop that as well.
I thought we made it clear that if you weren't interested, I wasn't going to bother you, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that I'm so jumpy.
Yeah, well, we're just friends, huh?
The only one I've got in here.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. You know, B. Smith is on your side.
Oh, yeah, she's just waiting for a chance to get me like she got Kathleen.
How do you know about that?
Doreen told me. B's out to get anyone who crosses her, and I'm next.
Well, Doreen has got the wrong end of the stick, dear.
She knew what she was talking about, and she made sure that I knew, too.
You listen to me now. Doreen's a bit screwed up at the moment, and she is wrong about B. Do you want to know why B hurt Kath? I'll tell you. Because Kath got word from the outside that she was to have you killed.
What?
That's right. So she went to B and said she couldn't do it. B decided that she would help her and put her out of action for a while. That way, Kath can't get blamed for not doing it.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Now do you believe B's your friend?
I suppose so.
Good. You just remember something. B's got all the power, and while she's in here, she's going to look after you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Morris! You've got a visitor.
Who?
Your father?
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Trace. Well, aren't you glad to see me?
Of course I am.
Well, you ought to be. It's not easy getting in here, you know.
I'm sorry, Mr. Morris, but we do have to take precautions.
I'm sorry, that wasn't meant as a criticism.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry.
Don't take all the blame yourself, darling.
But it was my fault.
Look, Trace, I haven't been much of a father to you. Perhaps that's why you got in this mess. And I've never been one for showing my feelings. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't care about you, that I don't love you. Because I do, very much.
Dad,
What I'm trying to say is that, well, when this nightmare's over, I'd like us to start again, to get to know each other properly. That is, if you want to.
Of course I do.
Look, we've got a lot of catching up to do, but, well, we can do it,
Dad, I love you.
Thanks.
Well, what for?
Well, you had the visit approved.
I just wish I could allow you more time.
It can't be much fun for you having to listen to the gory details of everyone's private life.
Oh, they're not always gory. Now you and Tracy,
They seem to be getting on well. At long last.
Better now than not at all.
Yes, I suppose you're right. You know, Tracy's 20 years old, and it's taken me this long to let her know how much I care about her.
Some people find it very difficult to express emotion.
That's been my trouble all along. It's a pity something like this has to happen before we can find out how much we care about each other.
Well, I think you're very lucky that you found out in time. Some people never get the chance.
You look tired.
Yes, I feel a wreck.
Well, you don't look it, but you could do with a break. And so could I, so why don't you let me take you to dinner?
I'm sorry, I can't. It's just that I'm doing a double shift. I won't be through till morning.
Oh, well, no wonder you're tired. Don't you get fed up?
Sometimes I feel as though I've been here almost as long as the prisoners.
Well, I hope they appreciate you. I do, for the way you looked after Tracy.
It's all part of the service.
Not at all. And that offer for dinner is open at any time, just to show you how much I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'd enjoy that.
So would I. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. 49.
Come on.
Z.
Oh,
double.
you. Oh, you.
R-I-K. And Z's a double word score.
Zurich?
Yeah, I thought you'd have known that. That's a place in, Italy.
Oh, Lizzie. I think Zurich's in Switzerland, and it's I-C-H, not I-K.
Well, that doesn't matter. I'm a fanatical speller.
You're telling me you are. Come on, we'll pay it.
Yeah, well, you watch this now. Zaji. I will use your Z. M-O spells gizmo.
Oh, you made that up.
No, Liz, it's a real word, but it's an Americanism. It means, a thingamybob.
Oh, anyone ever tell you you're overeducated?
Your turn, honey.
Right. Q.
Triple.
U.
Q-U.
O-K.
What is this?
K-A. Quokka.
Quokka.
I must be getting old. I've never heard of any of these.
That's a little animal that lives on Rottnest Island.
Oh, quokka me.
Not only is the girl educated, she's also travelled. God, what's that worth?
Looks as though Tracy's won. But I better check it.
Well, let's hope you're not a fanatical adder-upper as well as a speller.
Oh, Ray!
You did that on purpose.
Hold it, Tracy. Listen to me, you little brat. You do that sort
Now,
of thing.
that's enough, ladies. Doreen, I think you better go to your cell and cool off.
Come on, let's collect and have another game.
Sure. Idiots.
Hey, g'day. Oh, sorry. There you go.
Listen, Jim.
You're not going to back out on me now, are you?
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that this doesn't seem like my sort of place.
Well, how do you know? You haven't even been inside yet.
Just look at the people. They're all so young.
You're as old as you feel. Come on. Let's go inside and prove that even if you have got one foot in the grave, you can still have a good time. Scotch?
Thanks.
2 scotches, thanks. Smile.
I'm sorry, Jim. I feel out of place.
Oh, nonsense. Just relax. Enjoy yourself. I certainly intend to.
Doreen?
What's up with you?
restless, that's all.
So we all have to stay awake because you can't get to sleep.
Listen, have you thought about what you're going to do when you get out of here?
No.
Well, it's only a couple of weeks away.
Won't be long before I'm back in again, so what's the odds?
Oh, I see. So you're pulling that stunt, are you? Well, let me tell you, if you do end up back in here, I'll cut your throat.
Oh, well, that's something to look forward to.
Listen, Stewart, you've got plenty to look forward to on the outside if you don't give it a burl.
Like what? Who's going to be bothered with me after this? I've been in and out of joints like this all my life. I got married and I mucked that up, and I'm a loner. Couldn't even hold down a job.
How do you know? How often have you tried? Once.
Oh, shut up!
Oh, lovely.
Oh, what? Oh, I must be having one of my nightmares. What's going on?
Nothing, just discussing Doreen's future.
I don't want to know.
Oh, you ought to, love. You got your whole life ahead of you. Not like us.
Yeah, once you pull your finger out, you could really make something of the rest of your life if you tried.
Yeah, you don't know when you're well off. You got your house, you got your money stashed away, you got all your friends who love you.
Friends?
Don't you ever let me hear you say that again. I care about you a lot. And so does every person in Wentworth. There isn't one girl here who doesn't want to see you make good.
Yeah, we all love you, Dor.
Sometimes I wonder why we bother.
Oh, love.
Oh, rack off.
So what are you drinking?
Tequila sunrise.
Yeah, whatever you say. Tequila sunrise and a scotch, thanks.
Oh, a man's drink.
You ought to try it sometime.
Maybe later.
Do you come here often?
Sure do. How come I've never seen you before?
Well, I travel about a bit.
Oh, a jet setter.
Well, it's business mostly, unfortunately.
Oh, what sort?
Well, you know, this and that.
Sounds fascinating. Is it a state secret or are you going to tell me?
Well, there's this new product that we're trying to negotiate a deal with in Sydney. Oh, thanks very much.
Go on.
Well, look, there's this quiet little spot over there. Why don't we talk about it there, huh?
All right.
Cigarette?
Oh, thank you.
A, scotch and a rum and coke, thanks. I'm Damien. Who are you?
Vera Bennett.
Vera? Short for Veronica? Do you come here often?
This is the first time.
Ah. Why's a girl like you hiding out? Or maybe you've got someone special tucked away.
No.
Great. I'm solo too. Don't be sad. Smile. That's better. It's not easy, is it?
What?
Well, coming to a place like this, admitting that you're lonely.
Well, that's not why I came, mate.
I'm lonely too. So I put on the glad rags, thinking maybe I'll meet someone special, maybe I won't. But I have, haven't I? To us. Oh, baby, it's cold outside. Well, it's warm in here, though. What, your old man asleep?
I'm not married, I told you.
It's a joke. Wow. A real old-fashioned girl. Damien Trevina at your service.
Nightcap? I don't have any rum, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I love brandy. On second thoughts, let's skip it. You're really beautiful. Has anyone ever told you that?
You don't have to say that.
I don't have to say it, but I want to. Don't sell yourself short, Vera. I like what I see.
Damien.
Damien?
Yeah, this is the 2,658th day I've spent in this joint, which leaves I reckon about 4,000 days in round figures.
It's a long time, Bea.
You're telling me it is. Mind you, some people would think that's nothing more than a picnic.
Smarten it up, come on.
How's things on the outside, Mrs. J?
How should I know? I've been here all night.
Oh, jeez, you want to get in touch with your union. That's right.
Oh, hello. How's the Scrabble champ this morning?
Good, thanks.
You know, all that kid's got to face, I reckon she's got guts.
Sure has.
Hurry up, Doreen. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Davidson wants to see you in her office after breakfast.
Morning, Sally.
Morning, Sally. Morning, Jim.
Get home all right?
Mm-hmm.
Hate to say I told you so, but, well, you enjoyed yourself, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did.
Should go out more often.
Well, I think I will be.
Good morning, Doreen.
Hi.
Sit down, please. I wanted to talk to you about your release. With remission, it shouldn't be more than a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Have you thought about what you want to do when you get out?
Yeah.
Well?
Well, I said I'd thought about it. I didn't say I'd come up with anything.
Doreen, it won't do you any good burying your head in the sand. You'll find it much easier on the outside if you have some concrete idea of the sort of work you want to do.
Well, who's going to give me a job? I've got no qualifications and I'm a crim.
Well, I would be deceiving you if I said those things did not count. But you will find it easier if you're aiming at some goal.
Maybe I could be a professor at uni.
Doreen, you are not helping yourself or me.
Stiff.
Very well. Mrs. Jackson, would you take Doreen to the kitchen?
What for? I work in the laundry.
You'll be working on trolley duty for the rest of the week. It will be a change and perhaps give you an opportunity to think about your future.
Won't make any difference. There's nothing I want to do or I'm able to do.
If you want to behave like a child, then you will be treated like one. But I suggest you stop dwelling on the past and start behaving like an adult.
That all?
Thank you.
Coffee?
Yes, please.
Black?
Jim,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for taking me to that place.
Is the hangover worth it?
I think so.
Not a bad place, is it?
No. No, I was pleasantly surprised.
You see, it's just a matter of taking the plunge.
I couldn't help overhearing what you said to that girl.
Yes, sir.
Well, about travelling a lot. Why? Why did you say that?
Well, being a prison officer doesn't cut much ice with the crowd that goes there.
Well, she's going to have to know sometime.
Why? I've got no plans of seeing her again.
Well, that's an appalling attitude. You and she were having a good time. She looked like a nice girl.
Oh, sure, she's nice enough. But, well, I think one night's enough for that one, I think. Look, Vera, the people that are going to these places aren't looking for long-term relationships.
Some of them are.
Precious few.
Well, Damien, the man I met last night, I'll be seeing him again.
Wouldn't count on it.
Well, he left me a note.
Why a note?
Well, that's beside the point. He said he'd call me. Not everyone acts according to your rules.
Look, Vera, I don't mean to be brutal, but the rules of the game are that you find a good time, enjoy it. What you see is what you get, nothing more.
Well, I think you're wrong. Damien wasn't...
Yes, well, suit yourself. But I know I'm right. I wouldn't wait for that phone to ring.
Mrs. Davidson's right, you know.
Yeah, but it's all right for her, isn't it? She's got nothing else to do but run other people's lives.
She's very sympathetic to your problems, Doreen. There comes a time in life when you have to face up to things and put the past behind you.
It's easy for you to talk.
That's right. You're the only person in the world to have ever had a tragedy, aren't you, Doreen?
Sorry, Mrs. Jackson. Can I go on sick call?
Are you ill?
No, I just don't feel well, that's all.
All right. And you made a mess there? You made a mess? Where's Sister?
Oh, hi, Mrs. Jackson. G'day, Doreen.
Hi,
She's
Jane.
just in there.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Jackson. What can I do for you?
Well,
hurry up there, would you, Colton?
Oh, could I hold him for you?
Would you? We don't want to keep you waiting, but Colton's due for parole in a few weeks, and we've got to finalise the baby's records.
I'm sure Doreen won't mind.
Now, this is Noah's medical record, injections and so forth. As soon as you get out, you should report to the nearest infant welfare centre.
Oh, gee, sister, I won't have time to do that. I've got to get a job.
Oh, you do you? And who's going to look after the baby?
Oh, me mum. She loves kids.
Oh, well, that should be satisfactory.
All right.
He's real gorgeous, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll help you.
Thanks. Thanks a lot,
All right.
sister.
All right, Burns, what can I do for you?
Oh, me? Nothing. I don't need anything.
Well, come on, Doreen. Those trolleys are waiting. Sorry to take up your time.
Bea, I thought you always worked in the laundry.
Oh, I do, love, I do. This is Vera's method of rubbing me nose in it. Ever since Kath's been off work, she decided to show me my place.
Judy told me why you did that to Kathleen. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
I mean it, Bea. You had no reason to help me, especially the way you feel about drugs.
Listen, kid, yes, the bunny that got caught in the middle of the game. The ones I'd like to take a knife to are the bludgers who push the stuff.
I'm such a fool. I should have realised, but I just didn't think.
You know, it's about time you started thinking. You're too smart to get mixed up in a thing like this.
What do you think will happen at the trial?
Oh, I don't know. Seeing as you're going to be Crown witness against the pushers, I suppose the court will be more lenient. Anyway, cross that bridge when you come to it. It's still a few weeks away.
Yeah. I sometimes think I'll be better off in here. At least I'm safe.
Yeah, well, you should be all right while I'm around, but you're still going to have to be careful. That mob you got yourself mixed up in, they're very dangerous.
Someone else is going to have a go at me, aren't they?
Maybe. But I'm not just saying that to scare you either, kid. You're going to have to keep an eye open. If you think anyone's getting too close or one of the girls is keeping tabs on you, put your skates on and come right to me, okay?
Sure. I'll probably be running to you every 5 minutes.
That's okay. You just be careful.
Bea, I am grateful.
Yeah, okay. Well, I better get back to laundry on legs, otherwise Vera is going to have me guts for garters. Oh, there was the bluebird of happiness.
What are you doing on trolley duty?
What are you doing?
Oh, Davo made me.
You don't look too worried.
Nah.
Which way are you headed?
Maternity wing. See ya.
Vera, you look terrible. You all right?
Well, thanks a lot, Meg. You don't exactly look on top of the world yourself.
Just served 16 hours straight in this establishment, and I've a few more to go yet.
Well, that's your second double shift this week.
Correct, and I've got another one over the weekend.
So have I.
So has Jenny. In fact, the only senior officer who hasn't is Jim Fletcher.
What's wrong with Meg?
Oh, why did you ask her?
Off your tucker, eh? So you've got a bad case of the day after the night before.
Yes, I have.
Oh, surely it's not that bad.
I'm going home.
Well, can't you stand the pace?
No, I can't.
Well, don't snap at me. It's not my fault.
Well, you encouraged me to go out last night.
Well, what's that got to do with anything?
You patronised me to the point where I accepted your invitation. It's a pity you didn't let me know what I was in for.
Look, Vera, if you can't accept what happened last night on face value, then you're pretty naive.
Yes, I am. Very naive. I bet it amused you to see what a fool I made of myself.
I'm not the least bit amused, but you are being very childish.
Not nearly as childish as you are. It's all very easy for men. Just go out and have a good time. You pick some girl up and then you dump her when you've got what you want.
What I do is none of your business.
And I'm glad it's not. I may be naive, but I have some standards. Your attitude, the good life, the one-night stands makes me sick.
Yes, so I see.
And since I am ill, I won't be in for the rest of the afternoon, so you can adjust the rosters.
But you're on double shift.
That's right. You're going to have to find a replacement.
Thanks a lot, Vera.
I'm sure it won't be too difficult. Just use some of your masculine charm on the next unsuspecting woman who comes in here.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you this morning.
Apology accepted. Was that all?
Well, I didn't mean to be like that, you know, but...
I'm sure you didn't. I know you had a lot on your mind recently. Doreen, there is obviously something you want to say. What is it?
Well, you know this morning when you reckoned I should be thinking about my future? Well, I have.
Good. Have you thought of something?
Yeah, I'd like to work with little kids.
Well, that's an excellent idea. May I ask what made you decide on that?
Well, I know it'll probably sound a bit funny now, but when I lost Kevin and then the baby, well, I reckoned that life wasn't worth living because after all, the baby was the only thing keeping me going. And then when I found out that I couldn't have any more...
Well, that is something that's very hard to face up to.
Well, I just went down and I thought nothing would ever be right again. But then this morning, I realised that there was something. I like kids, and I reckon even if they're not mine, I can still help them, can't I?
I'm sure you can.
Well, anyway, that's all I wanted to say, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, I'm very glad you found something. There are a lot of possibilities in that area. You may be able to work in a kindergarten as a teacher's aide.
Yeah, but I've got no qualifications.
That's not the most important consideration. If you have a genuine love of children, then there are a number of institutions, hospitals, creches, which would be glad of your help. And if you show an aptitude for the work, they may even be prepared to train you. Excuse me. Erica Davidson?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Davidson. It's Detective Inspector Grace.
Oh, yes. Just a moment, please. I'm sorry, Doreen. Perhaps we could talk again.
Oh, yes, I'd like to.
Leave it with me. We may even be able to organise a work release for you so that you can get some experience in childcare before you go.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks, Mrs. Davidson.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yes, well, it's about Tracy Morris.
Yes?
Joe Vella, the man who originally set Tracy up, has made a statement to us, and part of it indicates that there would be an attempt on her life while she's in Wentworth. Now, look, Mrs. Davidson, I can't stress too heavily the importance of security in Morris's case. Her evidence will be extremely important to the prosecution.
Well, I can understand your concern. However, I can assure you our security is adequate to protect her. You need not worry about Morris's safety whilst she is in Wentworth.
Phil, you're as slow as a wet week.
Oh, I didn't ask for the job. It's all yours.
Oh, no, thanks. I've been warned off.
Oh, I'm never going to get this lot finished.
Meanwhile, Wentworth's laundry service grinds to a halt.
Well, look who's here.
Hi, Phil. B?
I thought you'd be off reading a dictionary somewhere. Someone giving you trouble?
What? Oh, no, I just got tired of my own company and asked Mr. Jackson if I could work. Looks like he could do with it.
Yeah.
Where's Judy and Lizzie?
Off delivering sheets.
Well, you're the boss. Put me to work.
Okay, you can start on that pile there. I'll get some more.
Hi.
Hi, stranger. How's the maternity wing?
Oh, great. I saw Chrissy Latham over there. You should see her baby, but gee, she's gorgeous.
With a face like Latham's, you're going to be joking. Listen, what's come over you, Doreen?
What do you mean?
Well, this morning you had a face as long as my arm. Now you're all come over, all Pollyanna.
Yeah. Where's me clean tea towels?
Phil is working on them.
I can't go back without them, Phil. Hi.
Hi.
I've been looking for you.
Yeah, why?
Well, I went down your corridor. I wanted to see you.
Here I am.
Well, it's just that I've been a real pig to you, and I'm sorry.
Here's your lot, Doreen.
Oh, thanks.
Aiming for the Guinness Book of Records. 5 sheets in 1 hour.
What's had the gong, B? Look.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely on the blink.
Well, have a look at it for me, will you? It's giving me the irrits.
Davo said I had to lay off.
Well, what are we going to do then?
Well, how about a smoko?
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, you lot, what's going on? Why aren't you working?
Oh, we can't, Mr. Fletcher. The press has gone bung.
All right, Smith, you work this machine. Do you know what's wrong with it?
I could hazard a guess.
Well, why don't you exercise that famous brain of yours and fix it?
Because Mrs. Davidson said I wasn't allowed to touch it.
Why don't you buy a new one? That must have come out with the ark.
Keep your smart remarks to yourself, Morris.
Is it fixed yet, Mr. Fletcher?
I'll let you know when it's ready.
I just love to see a man at work.
Yeah, it's a real turn on, isn't it?
Would you like to repeat that, Morris?
No, Mr. Fletcher.
The masculine touch.
Quiet! Let's harness some of that excess energy, shall we? You'll all do an hour's extra duties instead of the outside recreation period. Now get back to work.
Oh, what?
Mrs. Jackson.
Oh, hello.
Look, I'm aware of regulations, and I've had my visit for this week, but I wonder if you could stretch a point to let me see Tracy again, please.
I'm awfully sorry, but I
Look,
don't...
I wouldn't ask unless it was important. I've had word from the police, and they believe someone's been planted in here to get at Tracy.
Mrs. Davidson's made all possible measures to ensure Tracy's safety.
I'm sure she has, but I'd like to see her myself to make sure she's aware of the danger of the situation.
Well, I can't clear the visit myself, however...
Meg, the recreation period for Block H has been cancelled. Would you tell the staff, please?
I'm off duty now.
All right, I'll tell them myself then.
Well, before you go, would you approve Mr. Morris's visit to Tracy?
What? Well, this is the second time this week, isn't it? No. Look, we're far too short-staffed as it is.
Oh, well, if you approve the visit, I'll supervise it. Another 10 minutes won't kill me. All the interview rooms are busy. We'll have to be in the garden.
All right, then.
Well, I'll get Tracy. Mr. Morris has to be searched, though.
Arms up, please, Mr. Morris.
Look, Mr. Fletcher, I'm sure this is your job, but I can assure you I'm no threat to Tracy's safety.
Yes, I'm sure you're not either, Mr. Morris, but until proven otherwise, everyone has to be treated as a suspect.
give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside the roses grow, they don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.